Hello, welcome to my weekly chat show where primarily we recommend films and TV shows that we're going to talk about. But we're also going to talk about the opening of the Olympics. But before we get onto that, I said this on a stream yesterday. I just want to express my heartfelt sympathy, condolences, and I don't know, that thoughts and prayers phrase just kind of sounds a bit shallow, really, doesn't it? But I guess my human compassion, let's put it like that, for the people of Southport. There's been a terrible attack there at a children's yoga event. 3 kids have died. There's, I think, 8 other people in hospital, 2 of whom are fighting for their lives still. There's also quite a bit of street violence that's broken out in that area as a result of that attack. That is not going to help anybody at this particular time. I think everybody needs to put that on pause. It's certainly not going to help the families that are going through probably the worst time of their life. So I am very angry about it myself, and I'm trying to think of the most positive way I can articulate that and try and do something but that's more constructive. Anyway, but as I generally try and avoid politics, we'll move on from that topic. Let me bring in my panel. First, also from England, it's the Inside Man.
Good evening. Here I am, armed on this very, very warm evening with my my trusty Guinness. Breakfast of champions, as you know.
Yeah, indeed. Especially when your breakfast is at 10:05 in the evening.
Indeed.
How have you been?
Yeah, not too bad. A little bit hot, but you know, can't complain.
Because I know you had to disappear off of our stream the other night. I hope
I had a little bit of an emergency going on, which fortunately yesterday was completely sorted. But
this is what happens when you eat those curries that have been sitting in the fridge for 3 days.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. I did. You know, it's a very rapid evacuation. Let's just say, in more ways than one.
And we understand. Another man who's used to regular evacuations because he consumes a lot of northern cuisine is the Northern English Bastard. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I spend more time on the toilet than I do in I did at school. So yeah. Yeah, I'm so fan.
I'm not sure that came out as you intended, but we'll cherish that and possibly re-edit it into various.
I like to perform an
then we have the American contingent arriving. Next, it's Blue Collar Loser. He's already got the Inside Man giggles.
It's so cold. It's so.
And he managed to survive his last trip.
Last but by no means least, fresh from losing his fight with a lawnmower, it is my regular co-host of the Nielsen Ratings and the man behind the many wonderful thumbnails that are produced for this channel, Stupenzolicious.
He knows how to nail those thumbs, don't you, Enzo?
Chopped up all my hair. I like to go to Supercuts and have an old lady cut my hair for $20, and they always ask, "How do you want your hair cut?" And I always say the same thing. I say, "In silence."
Like an old lady.
My haircut in silence.
No conversation.
I feel like my last haircut was the American History X stream.
Oh God, your hair's grown since then, I guess. God, your hair grows slow. Jeez.
I had a haircut since the front fringe is still here, but the sides are...
I think all the alcohol's blocking the protein intake I have.
Oh my God.
So I had it cut just in time for the hot weather. In fact, I'm going to take my cap off because it's more comfortable this way. Well, welcome, gentlemen. it's a shame that you were not at my birthday party celebrations on Saturday, but I know you would have been if you
We
could.
did your birthday celebration here on this channel, remember?
We did. I mean, but I would have loved to have had a bop with you all. You know, it would have been.
How if I could put ecstasy in your water without you knowing about it?
How dare you? That would not have been acceptable. Can't be doing that sort of thing at my age. Anyway, but you're welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. We've got a range of interesting topics we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to start with the Olympics, which opened. The other day.
Yeah, don't show any footage or your stream will get removed like mine did from Sunday. So,
right.
FYI.
Well, I don't plan on showing any footage, but the opening of the Olympics, we were told, was going to be this kind of innovative thing, all based around the River Seine, and they were going to have a parade along the river. And I kind of thought at first, yeah, that could be interesting. That could be quite
super
cool.
sticker.
Somebody decided that the best time to do that would be to start before sunset. Rivers always look better at night, in my humble estimation. Anyway, we had these various boats come along, and on board each boat were either a number of countries. If a country only had a few contestants, they'd be down the front of the boat. And you might have your kind of 5 or 6 or 7 players down the front of that boat, and they'd be part of the sort of the flotilla, as it were. Then in the middle, you might have a bigger country who had a whole load of people on board, and they'd that'd be a bit in Nigeria or whatever. They might have like 20, 25 contestants, and then at the back of the boat, near the motor, there might be another small country, and you'd have sort of another 8 or so people there. And I thought that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, they, so that no one looks like ridiculous or is embarrassed by the fact that they've only got a few contestants. And then this happened. Then because as they come, each one comes past the camera. Now the country of Gabon, and this happened, and I was like, who thought this was a good idea? I mean, because I know, like, the Olympic Games, it's like the best man or woman wins, but regardless of how many people you're putting into the games, it's supposed to be sort of when the athletes traditionally come out in the stadium, regardless of the numbers, everybody's sort of on an equal footing. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. The big country's always got lots of contestants and all that kind of thing, but you're all coming out. You're doing the same thing. You're walking around the track. Each country's carrying their flag. This looked ridiculous, man. This looked ridiculous. The country of Gabon coming along their little speedboat after
looked like a boat of refugees on their way to Florida.
It just looked terrible. I mean, they were game and they were having a laugh, but also everybody else, like most of the other people, had boats with toilets on and covered areas, and it was pissing down with rain. They're lucky this thing didn't flood and sink. I mean, it's just embarrassing, man. Didn't somebody sit down and say, doesn't this sort of send the wrong message for an international competition of, this is the premium world event? What are aliens going to think that are looking at our planet from afar? They're not going to be impressed, are they? I just thought this was so bad. But what did my panel think? Inside Man, your thoughts?
Completely indifferent. It's the first Olympics that I've had absolutely zero interest in. I didn't watch the opening ceremony, and it's the only one that I've not been interested in for some reason. I don't know why.
Why have you not been interested in this one? Thank you for the $99 super sticker. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just kind of, I don't know. The climate feels very, very different. We've kind of moved into a different realm, I think. And I don't want to get particularly political or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep my mouth firmly closed. So
why don't you pass the baton, as it were, with our Olympic go around here? Northern, did you watch the opening ceremony?
No, I didn't. I missed it because I was streaming while it was happening. So and I hadn't had a chance to actually catch up and watch any highlights. I'm actually typing it up now on my phone to see what all the fuss is about. And
I mean, they did have some interesting bits in their opening ceremony. The torch balloon thing was quite a cool idea, and there were some other interesting bits. But this whole thing of people coming down the river in different sized boats, I just thought undermined the whole purpose of the games. Personally, that's just my personal view. Blue, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm an inside man. I didn't know about this stuff once.
Okay.
So yeah, you didn't see it.
I
I was watching Deadpool 4 times.
I thought you guys would catch like the highlights on the news because it's on,
I
like
caught it. I caught it live. I talked about it at great length on Sunday. It was funny because all my friends were like getting progressively like less enthused because it was like first thing like, dude, Gojira, awesome! Like first metal band to play at an opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Gojira playing with like all the headless Marie Antoinettes and the fireworks, and then the Assassin's Creed guy showed up and lit the torch thing and fireworks going off, and that was all cool. And then it just got progressively gayer from there. And like watching the enthusiasm drain from my my friends' group chat. Like,
I don't
what
need
is
to
this?
watch it. I know what's coming now. I know what's coming. I bet it's
First it was like a bunch of like loud and proud like black singer songwriters doing the fan dance and just being all bombastic. And then you got like this marching band who are supposed to be all regal and stoic, and it's just a weird dichotomy going on. And then it's funny because like you said, it's raining. Like nobody saw the forecast.
Yeah, well,
so you've got all these athletes getting drenched, and it's like, dude, they have to compete this weekend, So like, why are they? You couldn't even put like little like tents over them or little canopies. Also, all the audience is getting drenched on, and then then they did that weird Dionysus Last Supper thing with all the drag queens, and then they deleted it from the internet completely. And if you even talk about it or show any pictures of it, they'll just block this video. It's very strange.
I can't show that picture.
You can show pictures, I'm sure. But
the one. Yeah, I saw a little bit. It looks like
they blocked my stream, and I disputed it, and they denied it, and then I trimmed it, and then they would tell me to trim more.
Okay, I'm going to show this picture really quick. Inside man, just so you can get a gist of this. Is there you go,
Smurf.
That's
okay. If you look carefully, the guy on the left, his balls are hanging out of those black shorts, so be careful.
Showing brain.
He's showing brain,
showing brain, yeah.
The point is, it's like
episode revisited.
Literally nothing going on here involving sports. Like that's why it's so funny. It's all just posturing and just strangeness. Everything's got to be weird for the sake of weirdness. And I get it. Like, oh my God, there was one opening Olympic ceremony where there were some drag queens one time back in like 2008, and it's like, yeah, but that was back before it was everywhere. The way I'm hearing it, it's like, imagine if you went to like your favorite restaurant and they just started putting Carolina Reaper peppers and everything, and you're like, can I get something without Carolina Reaper peppers in it? And they're like, you wait, you don't like Carolina Reaper peppers? Are you you're a bigot? It's the same thing. It's like, can we not have just like bearded men with breast implants dancing around for once, like it's supposed to be normal? Like, come on, just please.
This is the other thing as well, is that this is the press section, right? And everybody, as you can see, has got laptops hooked up to like power outlets and stuff. Again, did somebody not say, hey guys, maybe we should have a canopy system ready?
Forecast is calling for rain. You can kind of predict the rain forecast from like 10 days out usually. It's not totally accurate, but you get an idea. Might rain Friday.
Yeah. I mean, just handing out some umbrellas and it looks like people brought their own. So, man, I don't know. I just that will just kind of like.
Common people, man beat up a woman today in boxing. That was progressive. Yeah,
did that happen? Did that really happen?
Yeah, they let some trans boxer who was banned in other countries from boxing. They let him compete in the Olympics in the women's division.
Are they not learning from this? Are they seriously not learning from this? This has been going on.
They know. They're just doubling down. The war on women continues, man. It's
literally... they should be sued for bloody neglect and allowing bodily harm to even happen to someone like this, because this is cruelty. It really is.
I'm not up to speed on I remember when South Park parodied the whole thing with
Right. That was years ago, and we're still
years
dealing
ago,
with
yeah.
it.
It was
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
because it happened once in MMA, and the woman that nearly had her skull cracked from it.
And there was also the Russian behemoth in the women's swimming, who, you know, and then there was the public protest by the other contestants who all stood together, kind of thing, when they got their gold medal.
Yeah,
know,
they're all for
man.
feminism until it comes to that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, women are just losers.
It's I mean, I haven't been watching the event. I've been rooting for Simone Biles to win, only because I watched that documentary and was quite engaged. But I didn't watch that part of it today. I'm just sort of a bit, I don't know. It's it's become a bit sort of farcical in a way. So that's a shame, because it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be this premium event, and I mean that's why I kind of chose to focus on this boat. It's just like anyone who thought that was appropriate to send one country down in a little boat like that, you know, particularly when there are all these divisive views on immigration and all the rest of it, and we could do a whole other show about that, and maybe we will at some point. And if I'm going to do a political thing, I'll do it on a particular stream. But
see, I just wonder whether that was actually wondering whether that was actually supposed to be some kind of joke about little boats. You know,
I mean, I think probably what happened was each country, you know, there was a series of vessels that presumably countries could sponsor, and there were a certain number of individuals. Right, so this boat can hold 80 people. So if you've got 40 people in your team, you can book 40 people spaces, and you'll have this section of the boat. And another team can book 20, so there's another space for 20. So it was probably like that. And I suspect some people, particularly third world countries, probably didn't have as much sponsorship as others, and probably couldn't book the premium boats on the premium spaces.
What's quite odd about that is, if that is the case, then shame on the International Olympic Committee and shame on the French government, because these are the people that are actually supposed to be paying for it. That's, you know, the dollar comes from them.
So if they have paid for it, then that's shameful that you would put, because there are teams of the same size who got to stand at the front of a proper vessel that also had covered areas. So if the athletes felt ill, they could go inside and wave out the window. These guys were in a fucking rowing boat. It's nonsense, man.
Yeah. So where's the equity there? Where's the equality in that respect? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, I think they're kind of.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say they seem to be sidetracked by one particular type of equality. And you know, there's a focus on that, and it's, you know, the detraction from what the whole thing is supposed to be about is gone. I knew it was going to go like this. I just had a feeling that it was going to go like this, and that's probably why. Also, because we don't really have that many star athletes at the moment. You know, but there you go. You know, we don't have Jessica Ennis-Hill, and we don't have Mo Farah. So,
I mean, to sort of, I mean, they weren't the only people with a tiny boat. There were a couple, but Gabon was the first one that I saw, and I was kind of dipping in and out of the opening thing, because I think I was live streaming at the time, and just sort of, there's probably a live stream of me going somewhere going, what the fuck's this? But I mean, if I open up this page, there's just a whole load of images here. You'll get the idea. These are some of the other boats, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, I get it. The French has got, you know, they're fielding 250, 300 athletes. I get it. But what they did was that they put the smaller teams on some of the other boats with the medium countries, so everybody got to go on a big boat. So if you're going to do that, you can't put someone on a small boat. Just doesn't make sense.
No. And
I
that kind
just
of makes
thought,
me want to
that's
root for them. That makes me want to root for the little
oh,
guy. You know what I mean?
no, absolutely. I need to emphasize this. I'm not here to take the piss out of Gabon. I
Yeah, I
hope
know
that they
that.
win.
Yeah,
I hope that they win the absolute maximum number of gold medals
Yeah.
that they can get. I really hope they stick it to them.
yeah,
And so they should, because this is
Yeah.
nonsense. They should not have been presented like this. If I was in that country and I was watching that at home, I'd be really angry. I'd be proper pissed off. Imagine if the UK came down in a little boat like that with all the athletes hanging off the side, paddling
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know,
Although I
we'd
would
be
laugh
pretty
if that was.
upset.
I would laugh if that was us, to be honest.
I mean, I would laugh, but you know, the next day, everybody would be a bit like, you know, when America comes past in their 3-level cabin.
Yeah.
Their thing was massive. It had like a disco in the middle. You know, it was like, what's with this?
Yeah.
So I just thought it's not really in the spirit of the
You're right.
really. You know, yeah, competitive on the field, but you know, when everyone comes out in the parade, they should be equal, regardless of the size of the team. I just thought this is bollocks. I get that they probably had to pull in these boats from all over the country because you had a vast number of different designs. But I wasn't the only person that was not impressed with this arrangement.
And it's not like they
you
didn't
know.
have enough notice either.
No, I know. Yeah, it just all just felt really odd, and I don't know. Like I say, there were some parts of it that were really good, but I mean, this one is typical of most of the boats, and you can see on this boat there are 3 countries on this vessel. You can see you've got one country down here on the bottom right. You've got another one just behind them, and then I think there are 2 more on the top deck. I think that's Germany at the back. So that looks like the German flag to me. Yeah, you know, that's what they did with some of the other boats. But at least on there, you know, you got a toilet, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you start feeling a bit ill, you can go downstairs, because at the end of the day, as Stupenzo said, they've got to compete. And the weather was atrocious for this kind of thing.
Some of them actually had to compete the following day.
Yeah. And now they can't go in the Seine because to do the triathlon, because the Seine is overflowing with sewage because of the high level of rain. There's an equally high level of rain expected tonight, and apparently they have no contingency. So if that doesn't happen, the triathlon is just going to be cancelled. Why can't they? Why can't they do the swimming? Yeah, but why can't they do the swimming part in the local bars? You know, the normal kind of things with the divided lanes, and isn't that where that part normally takes place? Doesn't it normally take place in an Olympic pool?
Dude, also all the climate change nonsense, like you know, these some of these athletes are bringing their own like window unit ACs, air conditioners, so they can have air conditioning because you know, they're just, the hotels they're staying at, like the food they're having is crappy. The athletes, these are Olympic athletes, you know. I mean, you would think you go to the Olympics and you're going to be you know, spoiled and pampered and have all orgies with all these top tier athletes. That's like the main reason for the Olympics is to compete in the Olympian orgies that happen behind closed doors. And you're telling me we can't even get decent catering at this thing?
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah,
it's like I'm over it.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when you're putting like what, years and years of hard work of dieting and exercise. It's like, shit, man, is it even worth it anymore now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even get some decent fruit or whatever they want, you know. I mean, it's bad. I hear that they're making them eat like, you know, like lame deli meat sandwiches. You think Olympians eat that kind of crap? Do you think they eat deli meat? They don't.
Lady Wolf says House of the Dragon 7 on the Nielsen ratings. It's embarrassing. I knew this season was a little off. Wow, we thought episode 7 was pretty good. So we did a episode on that last night. Well, me and Blue were pretty happy with it.
Maybe she meant episode 8.
Don't know. Episode 8's not out yet.
Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but Lady Wolf, I appreciate you coming on and making a comment, whether you liked it or not.
I'm hearing mixed things. I don't care.
I like it. I think it's got good writing, good acting. You get those 2 boxes right, we're off to a good start, you know. So, anyway, I probably will leave it there with the Olympics. Has anyone else got anything they want to say about it?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. There's plenty of fruit at the Olympics, just not the food. Okay. Common people's clearly on the ground. He's telling us. All right. So there's a new Marvel superhero thing out called Wolverine and something.
Yeah.
Who's seen it?
I liked it.
Me.
Okay. So Stupenzo, it's my co-host. Do you want to take the reins?
It was very stupid, and the plot made no sense, and it was a bunch of jangling keys. But I had a great time watching it. It was very funny. I mean, that was the thing I was saying about the difference between this and Spider-Man No Way Home. I knew all the spoilers going in for No Way Home, and I watched it knowing the spoilers, and I was not impressed. Like, nothing really wowed me. I didn't know too many of these spoilers going into Deadpool and Wolverine. There were some genuinely shocking cameos where like the whole audience was like, whoa, awesome. But I feel like even if I did know those cameos, I would still enjoy the movie because there's a lot of jokes. It was just a fun movie. It didn't take itself seriously. There was no message. It was just high octane action and a laugh a minute. And yeah, not all the jokes landed. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, it was definitely a good swan song for Wolverine. I thought, Logan is obviously the great movie for Logan, but this was like, I mean, I really just wanted to see Wolverine wear his damn mask after 25 years of X-Men movies, and he wears it, and it looks great. And that's the one thing I would say that these Deadpool movies really showcase compared to all the other Marvel and DC movies is you can literally just do comic accurate costumes and bring these characters to life if you want to. And anytime they don't, it's because they choose not to, either because they have to fulfill diversity quotas or popular reason for Superman, why they keep changing his uniform and stuff, is they don't want to pay the Schuster and Siegel families full royalties. So they'll get rid of his underwear, get rid of his spit curl, change his symbol just enough. So they don't need to give full royalties to them. It's all shady nonsense. Whereas if you just take Colossus and bring him to life, you take the Juggernaut and put him in a movie, you take Cable, or in this case, Wolverine. Like, the fact that it took this long just to get Hugh Jackman to put on the damn suit with the mask, like, my God. And honestly, how he puts on the mask makes no sense at all. It's just like, it's just there all of a sudden. You're like, okay, whatever. It was great.
Especially the years that are really solid. And how the hell did it fall into a foot? That's the thing.
Apparently, he had like a little hoodie this whole time that nobody noticed. Yeah. But whatever. It was fun. It's a comic book movie. And it's funny because I'm getting ready for a big X-Men stream this Sunday or Monday where we're going to talk about all the X-Men movies. And I watched the first 3. And yeah, except for the Matrix-inspired costumes. They are fun. They are fun comic book movies because, they got these silly comic book plots, and they're supposed to. I mean, not everything has to be the Dark Knight, where it's this ultra realistic, gritty crime caper. Sometimes we just want some fun, and I understand the multiverse thing is tapped out. Deadpool and Wolverine definitely make fun of it. I was hoping they would kill it, this multiverse notion, but. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie. It's one of these things you just got to see it to believe it. And I mean, it's one of those things I wanted to see opening weekend because every day you get on Twitter, there's like more spoilers. I'm getting like news notifications. It's like Channing Tatum talking about his awesome. It's like, okay, well, now I know Channing Tatum's in the movie. Like, why are you spoiling this? So go see it.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that his character is hard to understand made me relate to his character even more. So
Right.
What are you trying to say, that you're hard to understand for people?
Only to us, septic Americans.
I know.
We only understand Northern English Bastard when he talks in his John Wayne voice.
Blue, you got hold of a cup you showed us earlier. Do you want to grab that?
It's the official. This is from AMC. I love Regal AMC. AMC had the it said designated by Deadpool. It says
designed.
Can also use for
what's going on at the top there? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you showed that on your Law Bar review as well, and it's like,
if you've got the appropriate girth for that could be an interesting.
That is obscene. That is obscene.
There's a Deadpool one too. The fake. Actually, Nathan Fillion voice star.
Hang on, that's a popcorn bucket.
It's Headpool.
Yeah. Both are, yeah. So
And then what? So you had the cup as well. There's a cup
Oh, yeah,
behind
sorry.
you there.
I got the Deadpool in the room. Here's the
Yeah, that one.
There's a Wolverine one here.
Oh, Wolverine. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the Deadpool one just says "Buy Me" on top, which is
Wow.
funny. So, but this came from AMC Theaters only. Lance, to you and Gary, no bullshit, guys. I paid $30 for this. As I'm seeing this film, right? I'm checking eBay. Guys were selling this popcorn tin for $200 online.
Wow.
Not even joking. So in my theater said it said limit 1 per customer. So I brought my kid. So I bought the Wolverine combo. My kid got the Deadpool combo, but it was only 1 customer per order because that's how popular these things were. But yeah, you can put popcorn in there. So.
Well, they're going to be selling those in sex shops for Christmas. I'm thinking of getting one for Inside Man.
I mean, it's one thing because popcorn
please.
is $10. You're paying $20 for the 10, but just the fact that someone's selling for 200, like I like this, but I'm not paying $200 for it though. Come on, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a muchos monies. Okay, so no, sorry, I've just got distracted because someone's just messaged me about an interview that I'm trying to book. Yeah, so out of 10, what are we? So 3 people have seen this film, I'm guessing. Northern Blue and Stupenzo. Inside Man, have you seen it as well?
No, I'll probably catch up with it in about 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a big fan of comic books and Wolverine and honestly, yeah, and like I've tuned out from most of Phase 4 and beyond for Marvel. I think the only thing I saw after Spider-Man Far From Home was No Way Home and the Marvels, and I watched that ironically because I knew it was going to be trash. But I haven't seen any of the shows. I haven't seen any of the Disney Plus miniseries. I haven't seen Black Widow. Didn't see any of that stuff. Didn't see the Eternals. I don't care.
No, I haven't seen any of those. I didn't see the Marvels.
And Disney's going to think that because we all went and saw this one, like they're back and we're all going to give a shit about the next Marvel movie. That is not accurate. I don't care.
I agree with Enzo on that one.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, they're already casting RDJ as bloody Dr. Doom. And
I mean,
while the death of Tony Stark is still fresh in our minds.
I will say for Lance and Garrett, Inside Man Talk, that since Endgame, nothing has made profit until this film. Because remember, Spider-Man is technically Sony. This is the first profitable movie since Endgame came out. That says a lot where Marvel's at right now.
Well, it's funny because it's made more money this weekend than the Marvels did its entire run. But here's the thing: like people are saying, like, "Oh man, Marvel's back, Marvel's on top." It's like, dude, just because you made a huge hit doesn't negate the several bombs you have. Like, you're still in the red. They're still losing money.
Yeah, plus let's not forget Ryan Reynolds is the one calling the shots creatively.
Yeah, I would say I would give 20th Century Fox more credit, even though Disney owns 20th Century Studios, it's now called. But I mean,
definitely Ryan Reynolds. The marketing the past month alone between TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and social media and going out there, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, their marketing is why this film is doing this well. For these guys, every 5 seconds they are everywhere.
No way where they're gonna let Kevin Feige get his grubby little hands on them creatively.
Can I ask how does this fit with Logue, the death of Logan?
They address it. They address that pretty well.
Is this set before?
Yeah, he goes into
it's
the universe to get another Wolverine. And there's a shitload of really good alternate Wolverines.
There's so many comic book nods, so many comic book.
So it's all like multiverse. We can do anything we want. Therefore, if anyone dies,
there's no stakes really because of the multiverse. But it's one of those things where, I mean. Like we see some great, there's a great montage of trying to find the right Wolverine, and they're just like, there's so many great comic book nods. And if you haven't seen
I can see that being a fun sequence actually.
Yeah, there is another actor that was that most people want to see as Wolverine, and he does appear. I don't want to give it away just yet, but
no, don't.
It's a good one
because me and Inside Man are going to sit down and watch this in 10 years' time. So don't.
Yeah. Give us a decade.
Talking of utter bollocks and the multiverse,
Jesus Christ!
This nonsense happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, as proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multiverse,
as proof of no stakes whatsoever in our films. That's what he.
Well, it's not just bringing back. It's not just bringing back RJJ. It's also bringing back these Russo brothers. Like they're so desperate, you know.
The one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
Not the one person.
Look, someone even behind the camera said it's Robert Downey Jr. Someone just said it.
I'm just like, he looks like he looks like he just got burnt on his sunbed, man.
I mean, he's vegan now, so he's very frail and fragile. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised the audience isn't just like, what? Like, how?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of rumors. There's rumors that he's only going to be playing like a variant of Doctor Doom. There's also rumors that he might only, be Doctor Doom's voice, like behind the mask.
Right.
There's also rumors that it's a bait and switch, that actually it might be Cillian Murphy as the real Doctor Doom, which would be fun. But the point is, I don't really care who plays Doctor Doom. Man, bring back Robert Downey Jr. I don't give a shit. But the point is, it's like, I mean, Doctor Doom. I made a very funny post. I was saying Matt Berry should play Doctor Doom.
I
agree. No,
why not?
Seriously, he should.
I was just about to say that, man. That you suggested him, and as soon as you suggested him, even though it was partly in jest, I thought,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, that was like when I suggested Mr. Bean should play Alfred, and I was like, no, wait, he should. That would be amazing if Rowan Atkinson played the next Alfred. Yeah, do that.
That could be a lot of fun, actually. But yeah, Toast of London for Doctor Doom. I'm all for it.
Mr. Richards, you will never defeat me.
I'm with Enzo. The past 48 hours, I've seen so many actors they showed in Doctor Doom attire, and I agree, Enzo, that Robert Downey Jr., it's the culmination of desperation and like we're out of ideas. Love RDJ, love Tony Stark. He looks nothing. He sounds nothing like Dr. Doom. It's a horrible casting.
Realistically, I picture the guy from Mad Men. What's his name? John Hamm. He'd be a great Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
he might be a little too old now, but who cares? I mean,
I think he would have been a good Bruce Wayne as well. He's definitely got that little bit.
I agree with you on that one, North English. A lot of people say they show pictures of John Hamm in a Batman outfit. He would be a very good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Why not?
Anyway, enough of this commercial cack. Inside Man, what obscure 1970s film have you got for us this week?
Watermelon Man, directed by
my God, I've seen
Peebles. That. Yeah. It's kind of it's like the better version of that shitty, dare I say it, 1980s film Soul Man.
Right.
So you got Godfrey Cambridge, comedian actor,
Estelle Parsons.
Yeah, he's quite sort of bigoted, and he's got all these.
Oh my God, I've seen this. I saw this when this was shown on UK television.
Yeah,
it's the one where the racist white bloke wakes up one morning and discovers he's a fat black guy.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good satire, actually. It's and it's not one of those. It's not one of those kind of Soul Man things where he's kind of
that film's not aged well. Soul Man.
Much like a lot of 80s films.
Because we were watching Red Dawn as well, and we was kind of talking about like C. Thomas Howell, because he kind of was almost a little bit of a big thing in the 80s. He wasn't totally big though, but he still got a lot of work back then.
Yeah, he didn't stop working. Actually, he did well because unlike the others, he didn't get typecast. He got quite a few different types of parts. Like The Hitcher really showed you that he could act.
Though why would accept Soul Man is anyone's guess. I think even back then, it was terrible.
$2.5 million. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God! Do you know what? I thought that was Oliver Platt for a minute, but then I realised he was not alive and that big at the time this film was made. But it so could be him.
I mean, it's Watermelon Man's. It's a good blaxploitation movie, and you got a lot of footage sort of on TV with him and his wife, and his wife's kind of trying to show him that this kind of thing is wrong, and the
holy shit! Look, that's Erin Moran from Happy Days on the right.
Yeah. This movie's on Internet Archive, by the way. You can watch it right now for free.
And Scott Garrett looks like a familiar face as well. Did he do more stuff? Oh, he's in the art department now. 43 credits. So a set dresser mainly. I guess
it's
from the pedos.
It's definitely worth a watch because it kind of feels very, very now, actually. in certain respects. There are certain things in there that you think, Jesus Christ, 50 years ago and nothing's fucking changed.
Yeah.
But it's a good satire. It's the comedy isn't really kind of Stupenzo comedy, to be honest with you, because he makes me laugh, but this movie didn't really give me that kind of bellyache.
No,
But
are you saying that you now judge all movies by a Stupenzo comedy rating?
Yeah,
if they make you laugh as much as Stupenzo, they're funny. But if they
Appreciate it.
don't make you laugh as much as Stupenzo, they're not funny.
That's the scale I use now.
You might laugh a lot at Deadpool Wolverine. I even if you're not into the Marvel stuff, I think you will find it funny.
Yeah.
Talking of which, we didn't do a rating, and as the show's called the Nielsen ratings, we must. What would you give the Deadpool Wolverine movie out of 10?
Oh, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's like I said, it's not 8 or 9 worthy because of the glaring plot holes and multiverse and TVA and all that. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It's fun, and
I'll agree there.
Amazing comic book accurate costumes and amazing comic book movie nods. It's more about the 20th Century Fox movies, really. It's kind of a nod to all that era, the early 2000s. It's amazing.
What would you give it, Blue?
As a Deadpool film, Lance, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. But like also, I'm not gonna pretend that Citizen Kane, Into a Sale of People, has its flaws, but as a Deadpool film, what it goes for, it's the most fun I've had this year, period. Both times I've seen this film, both sold out screenings, everybody was cheering, roaring.
Yeah, crowd reaction was amazing.
Audience scores are 98%. Is it perfect? No, but this film is why I go to see films for. And it's it's even the second showing at 6 p.m. Saturday. I've never seen this many people inside the theaters getting concessions, popcorn, sodas. It's a flawed film, but for a Deadpool comic book, this is July, guys. We're going to August. It's a summer popcorn, fantastic adventure. So for what it is, 10 out of 10. But yeah, I'm not gonna pretend it's like it's not The Godfather. Come on. It's
hearing all these men and women, like especially women in the audience, like just laughing their asses off and reacting to these jokes. There's one specific joke. I'll spoil one little tiny thing because there's a million jokes in the movie, but it's like they joke about how Wolverine, he's not gonna take his shirt off because he kind of let himself go after the divorce. And I remember hearing like women in the audience like like gasping, like, oh, whoa. And then later he does get his shirt off and his abs are like amazing. And Deadpool's like nodding in silent approval. And it's just like, and the whole audience is just cracking up, dude. It's amazing.
And it is. As reviewers, people always, Enzo knows this. We watch Godzilla. I didn't go into Godzilla versus Kong Part 2 expecting like, the Lighthouse. But Godzilla versus Kong before this was $700 million. It's like there's popcorn films, there's crowd pleasing films, there's art house cinema. I'm not gonna pretend Deadpool is like high art, but it knows what it is. And again, look the box office results this weekend, guys, prove it all. It did $500 million in the opening weekend. That's unheard of.
But it's also people are really thirsty to go back to the movies, and we don't want to get scolded, we don't want to get lectured, we don't want to have some ambiguous A24 movie that just leaves us with like head scratching endings. Those aren't worthy of the theater, honestly.
Some of those A24 movies have an ending you can understand, but
and that's one thing. Talking to you more, Lance, you and Inside Man, and we know this. There's different levels of cinema, and for what this is, I think it's a perfect crowd pleasing film. It's a high art. Will this win any Oscars? Fuck no.
They might get some special effects Oscars. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them get nominated for those.
So it's worked on by people who really do like these characters, especially Ryan Reynolds, who was a big Deadpool fan, and of course he wanted to get this right. He wanted to give the audience what he wanted to have with a Deadpool character.
Yeah, funnily enough, when I was interviewing Neil Marshall yesterday, and I did my usual quickfire questions, one of which is, which American actor or actress would you like to work with most right now? And his immediate answer was Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, any of the Ryans. And it does seem to me that if Ryan Reynolds is on your set, you're going to get a professional actor who turns up on time, who doesn't throw tantrums at you, who's a collaborator, brings good positive energy to the set, and you're probably going to get a good polished production. and that's largely, he's going to make a massive contribution towards that. That's my gut feeling. I haven't worked with him, but that's the vibe I get. And if you look at the caliber and the quality of the last sort of 10 films he's made, I would argue that over half of them are very good. So I really liked the one he did about, it came out during lockdown, and it was one of the few things that dropped in lockdown that was quite fun, where he's like trapped in the world of TV games or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
TV
Yeah.
Me Free Guy?
Yeah. That was
that was pretty fun.
That was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that.
Well, also to Lance and Inside Man, you guys know this stuff working in the industry. Everybody who's worked 2 years ago, would Marvel and Kevin Feige allow Ryan Reynolds to make a R-rated Deadpool film? And Enzo knows, actually Enzo went North English. The fact that Ryan Reynolds got away with 99% of these jokes, trust me, he has no problem laying into Kevin Feige and Disney. He rips apart Disney, which I'm watching this like that's the fact
my big criticism of the movie was you could tell he wasn't allowed to make fun of any of the real, like the MCU. He wasn't allowed to make fun of She-Hulk. He wasn't allowed to specifically he does a few jabs at the multiverses and the fact that Disney's struggling in vague terminologies, but he's not allowed to make fun of any of the actual Marvel missteps. He wasn't allowed to make fun of the Marvels, obviously, Captain Marvel.
But the fact that he did this much though was shocking. He rips apart the multiverse. He's a multiverse, doesn't work.
I'm saying right now, Disney's going to take the wrong lesson from this. They're going to double down on the R-rated multiverse stuff, and they always take the wrong lesson from these. I agree with Enzo.
This is a one-off. It's a basic, and this is to Lance and Inside Man. Not even spoil the post-credit scene. They show the very first X-Men to the very last one. It's a basic goodbye. They show
like a behind the scenes reels.
This is a pure love letter to the past 25 years of the Fox X-Men, because Fox X-Men is officially done. This is a love letter, so it's a perfect no. But at the end, I kind of choked up seeing Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender. Ryan Reynolds is a massive fan of this universe. It's a big, massive goodbye. And you know what? I said this to Enzo and Luke and even Lord Toxic. I would honestly, Hugh Jackman's 55, Ryan Reynolds is turning 53. I'm fine with this being the finale.
Not until he's 90. Till you're 90. Hugh
it's
Jackman.
A joke, but
you're gonna play Wolverine till you're 90.
If this is Wolverine's last film, let this be his final goodbye.
Okay,
I think just quickly, I think Enzo's absolutely right. It's like they will believe that they've suddenly cracked the code again. And, this is going to be it.
Why are they so dumb?
Yeah, and unfortunately, then we're going to get a slew of very average movies and attempts to capitalize on this one.
Here's the lessons you should take from this. Comic act, you remember X-Men Days of Future Past, the first opening scene where they're in the future and they're all fighting the Sentinels using their group powers in tandem. Make a whole X-Men movie like that. That's what we really want. We want an X-Men movie that is just that opening scene for a whole movie. And instead it's just going to be R-rated gory schlock probably. Who knows?
Well, that scores 24 points out of a potential 30 for 3 people voting on it. This scores a potential how much out of 10? Inside Man, the uppity movie, Watermelon Man.
Well, Watermelon Man. It's a 7. It's a good film. Let's say it's a pretty decent satire, which is what I really like.
That's a great poster.
I love it. I like the poster. I'd give it from what I recall, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but I have seen it. I do remember it.
Yeah,
probably
the soundtrack's a bit sketchy, but
Melvin Van Peebles did the soundtrack.
It's let's just say it's not his finest hour.
Is Herbie Hancock's Watermelon Man song in the movie, or is that unaffiliated?
Do you know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you, but I mean, Melvin Van Peebles coming off the back of Sweetback's Badass Song, which I think is a really good film. If you haven't seen that as a blaxploitation movie, that's a terrific film.
I was telling my guitar player to check out Putney Swope because it was on his list of movies. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "You should watch it." It's funny.
We spoke about this last week, and of course, Gladiator 2 is on the horizon. Northern has seen it since last week. You've seen the first 4 eps or something like that. I binged the whole thing.
It does feel like it's starting to get a little bit better now. I am liking the Tanak's character a little bit more. He seems to be my favourite. He's a little bit scummy, but he's showing that he is
Ewan
genuine.
Rion's
Yeah, that's the name of the actor. Yeah, he's fucking good. Him.
I know, I like him. He had a no dialogue role in a film that a friend of mine directed, and Dickon and him were both in the same gang. And if you put Dickon and him side by side, who co-runs the theatre company side of the Outcast with me, they look really similar. They could be brothers. And I remember turning to Sharon and saying, that guy who looks a bit like Dickon, but he's got like the really kind of haunting eyes. I said, let's get his name. I want him in Pegasus Bridge. And he was down to play one of the glider pilots. And this is before he'd done Game of Thrones or anything. He was right on the list next to Barry Keogh before Barry Keogh had even done a dialogue role, who was also in 71 and had no lines, you know.
But it's not just him. The other characters are starting to warm up to me as well, because the first episode felt like they were just throwing everyone in a little bit too much at once, but now it looks like they've actually found a way to balance out their storylines a little bit more coherently without feeling bloated.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it like an earnest 7 out of 10 for the show overall. Where are you at with it at the moment? What's your feeling?
I'm still on episode 3. I need to really catch up on it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we're going to talk about something else then. Let's move on and check out this.
The year was 1978. We were the hottest pleasure palace in Miami. The Mutiny Club. Guests came from all over the world. The cocaine wars of Miami stopped at our entrance. We were neutral territory, where drug dealers avoided killing each other because everyone was having too much fun. Enjoy your stay.
Let's play Find the DEA agent at the bar. Why'd you never tell me that your brother's the biggest trafficker in Miami?
But we went our separate ways.
You have a young daughter. What would happen if her father was arrested for aiding and abetting a drug trafficker? I'm gonna need you to reestablish your connection. You look good, brother.
You abandoned me.
I didn't want to kill people so I could sell drugs.
You're gonna have to prove something.
What's that?
That I can trust you.
Your brother is a very dangerous man.
You steal from me, you pay a price.
I'm gonna get the information from you where you can kiss your daughter goodbye.
Whoa. I need a new second in command. I'm gonna make you so rich.
What's happening to this city?
Not in any danger. We are perfectly safe.
I remind you that you're trying to keep your family together.
Over time, I would come to learn a hard Miami lesson. Every pleasure has a price.
Fun times. I'll be dancing to Burn Baby Burner. Age Against the Machine this Friday. So, am I the only person who's seen this, or is anyone else?
First I've heard of it. It
Yeah.
looks good. It looks good. I want to watch it.
This is basically Studio 54 meets Scarface. It's the true story of the club that became known as Hotel Cocaine, which was it was a hotel with a huge club underneath, themed rooms for the guests. It was known as a neutral territory where the various affiliates of the various organizations could go and not get shot and have sort of meetings, but it was also where everybody could openly take shitloads of good quality coke in public and generally have a good time. It is portrayed in Scarface as the Babylon Club. But of course in Scarface there's a pretty big shootout in the club. It is as good as it looks. Fantastic cast, led by Danny Pino. You've got Michael Chiklis in there. I mean, Michael Chiklis, unfortunately, because I think he's a fantastic actor, he very much has been typecast since The Shield.
Yeah.
He plays variation of law enforcement officer types.
Bald. Always.
And I
The thing
mean,
is that
I
he
think
can
he's
play
okay
other
with that.
parts. he can play other parts. Though,
He
Michael
can
Chiklis.
play other parts. He's
I've
he's
seen
an
him in
incredible
other roles. There's an episode of Miami Vice where he's a complete fop in it, and you wouldn't think that was the same guy playing this big, hard, mean bastard in The Shield. It's so he's he has got some range.
No, he has. He's an excellent actor. Mark Fierstein, who plays the sort of the owner of the hotel. Danny Pino plays the hotel manager. His character is amazing, kind of funny. Sort of reminds me of Stupenzolicious a little bit. So you'll have to check out the show to see if that's true. Anil Baez, who plays the sort of the face of a cartel financing company to help him get out of his financial woes. You can tell from the tie he's not a man you want to do business with, really. And then you have Yul Vasquez. He plays Danny Pino's brother. The basic plot revolves around these two brothers are estranged. They haven't talked for a long time because one of them is essentially a massive importer of coke to Miami, Florida. The other one is trying to have a normal life, and so he's deliberately kept apart from his brother. Unfortunately, he's kind of forced back into an association with him, and they try and get him to betray him, and it sort of revolves around that. It's pretty good. The production design is very good. It does have its foot in the wrong side of fiction occasionally. There's some bits that happen in it, and I do a quick Google, and it's like, okay, that didn't happen, probably. So
if it's not to spread the message and actually works for the narrative, I don't mind if they tweak a little bit, because even if they're based on true stories, they're always embellished a little bit. They always end up
I mean, there's not. I haven't. There are some characters in it who are of varying different degrees of sexuality mixes and whatnot, but it feels very much in the context of the club. There's no, this guy's got a subplot of actually he's got a gay lover at home. There's none of that. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I give it a solid 8. I've seen 7 of the episodes. I believe there's one more to drop.
Yeah,
so
the fact that it's on MGM Original is probably the reason why I never heard of it. I didn't even know MGM had their own streaming service.
Yeah, no, but it's on the Johnny Depp channel as well, so you can get it there. So that's my recommendation of the week. Northern, what have you got for us?
I took Inside Man's advice and finally got around to watching The Solomon King, and God, I had such fun watching that crap fest. It's a fun one. It really was. The acting. There's a few scenes where some singers are on the stage and they are proper out of sync. It's their mouths wide open, they aren't moving it. It's like they're trying to do a little harmony thing, but it just does not match the words to what they're singing. There's even it's not the first scene where people are out of sync. There's a part where Solomon King's fighting these guys, his mouth's not moving, but you can still hear him going, "Hey, calm down, motherfucker! Calm down, motherfucker!"
I think
amateurishly bad, but you'll love it. I was cracking up laughing. The acting is so bad.
funny.
The fight scenes are terrible.
I think some of the time, Inside Man just recommends these things to us so that he can then hear our reaction the following week.
Yeah,
it's obviously trying to cash in on the Shaft, but God,
it's
bless the actor.
It's a low rent.
Oh, this is the one that we talked. Didn't we talk about this the other week?
Yeah. I mean, I happened to mention it the other week. Yeah.
Like a guy trying to be Shaft, and he's kind of a bit out of shape, and
but it's I think the funniest character for me, apart from Solomon King's brother, the whole beginning sequence is hilarious. But there's this guy who's supposed to be this, this prince, this kind of Arab prince, and he speaks with his Mexican accent.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
crazy
how the film starts as well. It starts in mid sentence. It's like we've got to go find him right now. It's like wait a minute. Begin the film with don't begin the film mid sentence. Begin it at the first fucking word of the sentence.
Leroy's never heard of Solomon King. You haven't lived, Leroy. Clearly, you haven't
great,
lived.
mate.
Oh, you'll laugh your fucking ass off, man. You will. It's so bad, but you'll enjoy how bad it is.
Yeah, and
We've got
Princess Aniva. You know, she's definitely from upstate New York somewhere. She's supposed to be an Arab princess, and all of a sudden,
her death scene is so bad. I mean, the guy practically shoots. He's aiming at her side, and somehow the bullet magically penetrates her back.
Yeah.
God.
Got a new guest in the chat. Ghost of Geratilus. Welcome to the Outcast Creative. Thank you for popping in.
Geralatus.
Thank you.
I don't know.
But if you
go ahead inside, man.
I was going to say, if you want to really kind of get to grips with any of the blaxploitation movies, rather than trying to figure out where they are and all this kind of stuff, there's an absolutely brilliant book by a guy called Josiah Howard, and it's called Blaxploitation Cinema: The Essential Guide. It's astoundingly good. He couldn't get a publisher in the States. And everybody turned him down. They said, there's no market for this. Who's going to want to buy this shit? And the only place that he could get a publisher was in the UK. So the first publisher that he saw, they snapped him up. And he would be a very, not that I want to recommend anybody for any of your interviews, but he's such an interesting guy and such an enthusiastic man. And he would be an absolutely tip-top guest.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Blaxploitation Cinema: The Essential Guide by Josiah. Josiah
Howard. Let's get him on. Do you know him? Or
I don't, but I know someone that does. So I'll try and
get on it. Get on it, inside man.
I will do. But what did you think?
I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, Josiah Howard, hardcover, £16.90.
It's a very good book.
On Amazon, available. You can get paperbacks more expensive than the hardcover. I don't know how that works, but
that's because it's a revised edition. It has been revised. So, but the only person that actually...
we should do a stream on this. Actually, we should do a stream on this, and then we can see if we can get him on for that stream.
Yeah. I mean, it's a. There's a lot of people. I think really we've got Quentin Tarantino to thank for the kind of resurgence of blaxploitation and other genre as well. To introduce most of the films to me, reading his book and seeing some of the interviews and everything, I thought, I'd never heard of that, but it sounds okay. They're not all great, but yeah, there are a few that
I've got to see Super Dude.
Yeah.
Super Dude. I mean, that's what a title. Look at that poster. One of the guns has got a slightly strangely longer barrel than the other. It appears. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Oh, Magnums had to be big. Had to be big. They did.
Yeah.
But there's a very good blaxploitation western that was produced and written by Fred Williamson, starring Fred Williamson. And I can't say the title. All I can say is that it starts with Boss something.
Right.
It's
okay.
Boss something. But it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, is it Boss N-word?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I know that movie.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah, fair enough. And I appreciate you not saying that word on my channel.
Yeah.
That's Vex's job, as we know.
The thing is, though, this Solomon King, it was considered a lost film. Apparently, VHS copies that existed were faded and scratchy, but was given a full 4K restoration by Desktop.
Sorry, guys.
Make it so.
Number one.
Computer, Earl Grey, hot.
Shut up, Wesley.
I died in Quebec as an android.
But yeah, it's
Alex, say hello to the gang on the Nielsen ratings. You're live on air. Just say what you were about to say.
Hello. Yeah, I Well, I just thought, it's a running joke now. We've established it. I've just got to continue it. So
He's always got a call when I'm live. You see,
funny.
Yeah. As you can tell, they're falling about with laughter. So fantastic. Sorry, Northern. Please continue.
No, because I always wonder what these directors, the director who made this film. I mean, do you think he could have been a nice guy who just had no idea what he was doing, but really wanted to make a movie? Because I think these could be good guests as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
the director of this, I think, passed away some years ago. But I think you're right. I think he was, just a decent guy who, wanted to kind of cash in on the blaxploitation movement, if you like, and didn't really have much of a clue. But I love that opening sequence. Where the guns are going on.
It just begins where it goes, we need to go find this guy's. It's like, what the fuck did I miss here? Did they cut out half the fucking scene or something before and start it there? It's
she's just saying, it's Manny, I want some woman. It's Manny. Oh, Manny. But I do like the intro theme. Actually, the title music I think is quite good.
Oh yeah, that's been stuck in my head for days like that.
Yeah, brilliant, just brilliant. So what would you consider scoring that yourself? Sorry, Lance. Sorry, that's your question. I'm sorry.
No, mate. Yeah, you're more than entitled to jump in because of my bloody phone. So yeah. Let's put the question out there.
Yeah, I'd probably get. It's a bad film, but I'd still give it at least an 8 out of 10 just for entertaining the hell out of me.
And that's really it, isn't it? It's and it's exactly what Blue was saying about the movies. Being entertaining. You want something that's really going to entertain you rather than is going to try and deliver any kind of message. And we've been so starved of that. Really, really starved of it. I mean, a massive drought of those real entertaining movies. Whether it's a low budget movie that entertains you or whether it's a $400 million movie that's going to entertain you, it makes no difference. Fucking entertain me. That's your priority. Your absolute priority is to entertain your audience. There's nothing else. That's your only obligation.
Yeah, and it does look like they have really worked hard on trying to make it work. I mean, because they're in proper locations as well, and there is still a very good gritty look to it as well, which adds a bit of reality. It's just the guy just can't act, and he doesn't really look like he's in the best shape to be playing a fucking Green Beret ex-CIA trained operative. It's
is that his background?
Apparently that's the character's background.
I remember I was talking about that before, and I did try and track down some of the cast of this movie. Most of them are dead, but several of the cast of this film, the female cast, are still alive. I think probably because most of the blokes were like, overweight and getting on a bit, and probably were already quite old.
To be honest, the girls were pretty hot.
Yeah, and they were also considerably younger than the male cast. Shelley Babcock is still alive. Samika, who's never done any other film, probably because this one was too traumatizing, is also Samika Bennett, who did the role, pretty much acted a character under her own name. I believe she's still alive as well. So I might make an effort to see if I can track down a load of them. It'd be funny if we could get all the female cast to come on as a group.
I would love to see YK King from Miami Connection on here as well. I think he'd make a good guest because, he had no idea what he was doing. He almost bankrupted himself to make Miami Connection, but he seems like a really nice guy. He really does.
I'm always up for getting a filmmaker on. Absolutely. So, and don't care if they've made one film or 50, or they've made 50 films that are crap, but one that's amazing. Whichever of those combinations, they would be very welcome to come on. So yeah, that would be interesting to hear his whole story behind that film. That would be a stream and a half.
Yeah, I think a film about how he made that film would be a really good idea, because he had a lot of people supporting him as well, and it wouldn't be about a narcissistic bad filmmaker like The Disaster Artist, you know, with Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Or Neil Breen.
Oh.
Neil Breen. I don't know that I'd get Neil. I don't know that I'd get Neil Breen on. I'd find Neil Breen a bit intimidating.
I think he would be a bit insufferable, to be honest. He's
the kind of guy that would want. He was the kind of guy that would want money for an appearance on a show.
Yeah, undoubtedly, yeah. But don't you think that he actually sounds a lot like Rich Fulcher from The Mighty Boosh? He really sounds like Rich Fulcher.
Yeah, when he does his acting as well, like, oh my God, I can't believe you committed suicide.
Yeah. You're all my children. We need to
Leroy,
this planet.
Leroy's pointed out that Fred Williamson is still alive, and of course he's in one of my favorite.
And he looks great.
One of my favorite Italian Mad Max ripoffs, The New Barbarians. I think he's in that.
Yeah,
if I remember
he's in
right.
From Dusk Till Dawn, you know, movie that
love
me grow up.
Love this actor. 86 years as well. He's still going.
He looks great. He looks. I saw an interview with him actually a little while ago, and he still looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's why I'm so pretty.
Yeah, he was in. He did a whole load of those Italian films actually, because we talked about Warrior of the Lost World. It's one I brought up. He was in Bronx Warriors. Forgot he was in Bronx Warriors.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Warrior of the Lost World, The New Barbarians, which some people call it Bronx Warriors 2, but it's not. There is actually a film, Bronx Warriors 2. And then Rome 2033. So, and I've got it's on the shelf behind me. I've got the metal tin edition of those 3 films. And he's done a whole load of other of the Italian ones, like Messenger of Death and Delta Force Commando and Black Cobra 2, Delta Force Commando 2 Priority Red 1. God, what a title.
He's
Let me get that one up. This is oh my God, this looks like that poster is like, remember when you used to get those games for the ZX Spectrum?
Yeah,
they have really cool covers, and you think, wow, this game's going to be really good.
It's little 2D sprites, 6-bit, 8-bit.
I guarantee this film probably wouldn't be much better than that. But directed by Frank Valenti. So fabulous. Stupenzo, you've got something lined up to show us. Didn't you have a clip ready?
No, that was still sharing my screen. But yeah, I got a few movies I watched while I was out of town. Do you want the good or the bad first?
Let's have a good one.
Okay, well, I was out of town, and I watched mostly old movies while I was visiting friends, and got a hotel my last night in town. And what's it after me and Meg were watching trash TV, 90 Day Fiance and crap. And there was HBO in the on the TV, and Megan fell asleep, and Leaving Las Vegas was on, and I watched the whole thing. I think for the first time ever, I watched the entire thing. I don't think I'd ever seen it all the way to the end. Damn,
I've only seen it once all the way through as well, but it's a really good film. It's probably
Blue Collar. You need to watch it, buddy. You need to watch it.
Blue Collar. This movie is your future.
Actually, yeah. It's like pointers. It's like, dude, your alcoholism is so like tame.
I've got
you got to step up your game,
gonna
bro.
Die getting
you got to step it up, bro.
About 3 different intros. I've used this movie for intros.
Yeah. This movie's fantastic.
I love Nick Cage like this.
Also, what I didn't realize is the director, Gillis. He also did the soundtrack, which is, you don't ever really see that, guys. Usually the director is like the writer or the and he wrote the screen adaptation, which is based on a book from some guy who was also a crazy alcoholic who killed himself with a gun. Usually you see like the director is also like maybe the cinematographer or something. But like, yeah, rarely do you see him do the score, and it was great because like Sting is on the score doing some songs and some other good songs, and Elizabeth Shue, she's so hot. It's amazing how good she looks, and it was just a really good movie about two broken people just accepting themselves for who they are. And Nick Cage wants to drink himself to death in Las Vegas, and
this was the first film that Shue landed after Karate Kid that actually proved that she could act.
Right.
She had range and she had acting chops.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue this probably isn't the best Nicolas Cage movie, but this is easily his best performance. Like he is like sweating. He's not even drunk. That's what's amazing. Like usually you hear about actors who drink for real, but he drank for real and filmed himself and like studied so he can like, keep his mannerisms and slur his speech right. And he said he borrowed from various other famous alcoholic roles. Also, Julian Sands is Elizabeth Shue's pimp, Russian pimp. Yeah. It was a good movie, but like Nick Cage, dude, his alcohol tremors are very realistic, and he just looks like he literally looks like he's dying, the whole movie. It's crazy. And it's kind of a bummer. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The movie's kind of a downer, but definitely worth a watch.
But there was enough sincerity to make you stick with it, though. You can really tell he's giving it his all, and he is.
Yeah, you really feel sorry for.
It rips your heart out. It really does when you
mostly feel sorry for Elizabeth Shue's character Sarah, because she kind of like pities the guy at first, and then she's like hanging out with him all the time because he doesn't really want to have sex with her, and he's got all this booze, and they're just kind of hanging out, and then they kind of fall in love with each other, and eventually she's like, "I need you to go to the doctor," and he's like, "It's too late at that point, dude." There's no, I mean, even if you did go, if you're that kind of an alcoholic, you try to get sober, like that alone might kill you,
I love my favorite part of the film was he's driving with one hand driving, the second hand he's like this,
chugging booze, and then a cop pulls up to him, and he's that's the thing, he's such an alcoholic that he has the motor functions to black out, drive home drunk. In fact, if you read the book, like he wakes up in his house a lot and he has no idea how he got home. So the first thing he does is he drinks like booze, and then he goes outside to make sure there's no damage to his car.
We've all done that though, haven't we? We've all done that.
There's like the great moments where like he's sleeping and he starts like convulsing because he's like having like, alcohol tremors, and he wakes up and the first thing he does is grab the bottle of Jim Beam next to him and start trying to drink it. It's empty. So he like rushes to the bathroom, and he's like pours like crack. It's all bottom shelf booze. That's the worst part. It's all, he grabs like that Taka vodka and like pours it into the orange juice, and he's drinking it and he's vomiting and he's trying to hold it down. And eventually he gets enough to where he can like kind of like chill. Like he's not like freaking out anymore. It's insane. It was a rough movie. Also filmed on 16 millimeter. So it's got this really cool vintage 90s look. Nick Cage said it really helped with his performance because the camera's real small. You don't have this big, 35 millimeter film, camera in front of you. You got like this little camera that's this big. It's easy to kind of, act block past that.
Block it out.
Real good movie.
I have seen it. I'd give this film it's not a film you want to watch again and again, but it's a 9 out of 10 movie for me. It depends how you want to give it a rating.
Like 8.5, 9, definitely. It's good.
Anyone else who's seen it?
Yes.
10 out of 10. It broke me, and I thank it more and more for that.
Right. This is the film. This is the film that's made Northern cut down his drinking. The sooner Blue watches it, the better.
No, it just made me cry a little bit, but definitely made me want to drink more.
It's a hard film. As much as I jokingly said, I've never had a point where I'm driving and a cop looks over, and I'm just like this chugging. Like,
do you get the shakes when you get sober?
Well, before you answer that question,
don't answer that.
Tell us about the bad film you watched.
All right, before this show, right after we watched Red Dawn, I watched probably the worst movie I've seen. Not
ever.
Not this year. Maybe this whole year. Definitely this whole year. Maybe like the last couple of years. I watched The People's Joker. My God, dude, it was insane.
Oh my God.
So backstory, this movie totally does not fall under the whole time you're watching this movie, like all over the credits, it's saying like, hey, this movie's fair use. It's protected by parody law. That is not true at all. This movie is literally like they drop every name of every character: Arkham Asylum, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Ra's al Ghul. Like they're all mentioned by name. There is no, I mean, it's a loose parody, but still you would need permission from this. And apparently this movie was pulled from Toronto Film Fest in 2022 because Warner Brothers, heard about it and was like, gave them a fucking letter, cease and desist. The filmmaker, writer, director, and star, narcissistic trans woman named Vera Dark. I heard that this person went like several, like maybe 10 grand, maybe it was 100 grand. I don't know. 10 grand sounds more likely, like in debt trying to make this movie. Still hasn't returned a profit. The movie is all over the place editing wise. It's all green screen, bad special effects. It looks like a weird Adult Swim, like what's the show? Tim and Eric kind of sketch. Like it's very whole segments of the movie are animated for no reason. Or for instance, like when Joker decides to jump in the vat of acid, for some reason it's filmed with little action figures with just voiceover. Yeah. It's just very nonsensical and strange. But dude, it is the worst movie in terms of like tell, don't show. Like it's literally just this trans person just narrating his whole fucking life story and neurosis to everybody. And it really just shows like not only is it a bad film and it's like not funny, it's not entertaining, but it really just shows how like depraved and broken and neurotic these people are. Like everything is all about mental illness, this self-medicating here, depression, that I hate my mother and father here. It's just nonstop. Like nothing would make you want to, like, let's say you were like having some kind of gender dysphoria. This is the kind of movie that would make you want to bottle that shit back up and not fucking explore it, because it doesn't do anything about being liberating. Oh, also Joker is a like a trans man. And this Joker Harley Quinn main character is a trans woman. And it is fun though, because they do get together and the first thing they realize is like they're like Joker's like insanely like bad, toxic for him. So that is one element of it that I appreciated. It's like, I don't know, the movie's just icky. It's just icky and gross, and everything about it was just depraved and horrific. And I really just feel sorry for this person, Vera Dark.
In the interests of fairness, let's look at some of the IMDb reviews.
Oh yeah, so also a lot of astroturfing here. It's like there's not a lot of reviews, but you can tell they're all dishonest except for like the bottom one, which is like 1 star.
Right.
There's like a 3-star review, but everyone's just 10 out of 10. It's amazing. And it's all like, if you're a gay idiot like me, you'll love it. If you're into fucking, if you're one of these.
This one, a collage of carnage, beauty, and comedy. That heading already reads like it was written by the director. But let's see how many other reviews this person has done and how genuine they are.
Let's see. No, just that one. Okay.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Yeah, and you get on, and this is what's funny, you get on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score. That's like, dude.
Genuine modern masterpiece. Okay, this person has done 3 reviews, one of which was in 2012, so not really a committed film reviewer, but okay, that could be a genuine review.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was garish, it was gaudy, it was very narcissistic and self-serving. And I just feel sorry for this Vera Drew person, who is apparently before this movie is a actual editor who's worked in some. They did editing for Comedy Bang Bang Show, or whatever the hell that's called. They did some other stuff.
Let's find out.
Just
they previously have 16 credits, editing, an Emmy for Megan.
Emmy nominated,
Comedy Bang Bang, 62 episodes. There you go, Comedy Bang Bang,
and just does have like Comedy Bang Bang vibes with the editing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this movie, if I was Warner Brothers, I would really press down and get this movie removed. This is not fair use. This is not parody. This is literally like I mean, but then again, it's a double-edged sword, because Warner Brothers could pull the rug under this movie, and then they'll all be labeled transphobes. So it's a pretty solid system that this Vera Drew guy has figured out. Like, if you don't like the movie, you're a bigot. If you try to silence me for making fun of Batman, you're a bigot. And it's just like, I don't know. This movie needs to be seen to believed. I would recommend watching it. You're not going to like it. You're going to probably hate it. You're probably going to hate me for telling you to watch it. But
well, you've warned them.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I love bad movies. Don't get me wrong, but this was really crazy. It was insane.
Inside Man, you took a huge breath there to say something.
No. It's it's not the kind of. I was going to say it's not the kind of thing that I would really even entertain. To be honest with you, I think the fact that Enzo has, kindly warned us off of this. I wouldn't even give it my time.
Enzo, do you have anything else you want to recommend?
The other thing I watched while I was visiting my guitar player Keith, I spent the night at his house. We had movie night, and we did a double feature of brain-eating slugs. We watched Night of the Creeps and Slither, and he hadn't seen either of those, and those are always good. They were fun.
Slither was based on a kind of, what do you call it, one of those books with the yellow pages. They always printed them on that cheap paper, and it was a horror novel. And then I remember seeing that same book with the now with the cover, now a movie sort of thing, which justifies you've got to buy this book. It's amazing because it's now a movie. I remember I can remember the video cover with the woman screaming in the bath and they're like dripping out of the shower tap or something like that. And that was the video cover in the UK. Did you see the 2006 one, or are you talking about the original?
No, I'm talking about 2006 Slither by James Gunn, and then the 1980 something Night of the Creeps with the guy from Halloween 3.
Right.
Those two movies together. Obviously, you got to watch Night of the Creeps first, because Slither is bonkers.
Right. So there is an 80s version of Slither. In fact, I think it might have been made in 79. I have seen Night of the Creeps. And this was a lot of fun. Yeah, this was the one with the prom where everybody's getting weird. Those things are going into their head. It takes them over, and these two people end up sort of. It's very Shaun of the Dead vibes. It's kind of fun.
Oh, Slither 1973 is about embezzling money, ex-cons. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's no killer.
No, that's not it. That's not it. It's gonna have a woman in a bathtub, exactly like the cover of this 2006 movie. You Inside Man, you must remember the film I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. And I've got to be honest, the cover does ring a bell.
Yeah, it's not the James Caan movie. There's a 1974 movie with Barry Bostwick. I don't know if it's that one. Hang on, let me do a bit more of extensive Michael Googling. Anyway, just tell us about the Night of the Creeps first while I'm looking that up.
Well, Night of the Creeps is fun. It's basically some naked aliens on a spaceship running around, and they accidentally jettison something off the ship. It lands on Earth in the 1950s, which it's a big convoluted plot about an axe murderer that escapes a mental asylum and kills some high school sweethearts on dance night. And this young rookie cop catches it and kills the axe murderer, and then he kills him and I guess buries him somewhere, and because he kills him like kind of off the books, I guess. I don't remember. And then apparently these slugs this killer slug thing is running around, turns one of the guys into a zombie. They freeze him in some lab, then he's kept away for 30 years, 20 years, and then some college kids stumble upon him in the 80s, and they accidentally thaw him out, and his brain slugs come out and start wreaking havoc on the college town. And they crawl up your mouth and turn you into zombies, and then your head splits open and makes more slugs, and they crawl into other people's mouths. It's a lot of that going on in the movie, and a lot of amazingly bad one-liners, and he's kind of this cop, with his lines, "Thrill me." That's like how he answers the phone and stuff. He's always telling you these wild stories about people he's murdered. It's all fun.
It's funny. I don't remember that poster with the hand coming through the door, but I saw this. I rented this movie. I remember renting it.
Yeah. Very like Joe Dante vibes for this one. Very kind of campy. It's if you like horror film schlock, this is great. It's one of those movies that a lot of jokes are kind of, they don't really land too well. It's like trying to be funny a little bit, but it's fun. It's got its heart in the right place. Just very George Romero vibes in terms of the cinematography and everything. You can see where the movie got its inspiration from.
There's Tom Atkins, your leading man from John Carpenter's The Fog on the
That's
right.
Yeah, Halloween 3. He's kind of steals the show with his insane antics. He's like the drunk, jaded police officer. You got zombie cats, you get zombie dogs, you get this guy who's yeah.
I love him as an actor. He's a great actor.
He walks by that cop and that security guard. And he's just like, "Oh yeah,
Is it just me? Look at this actor. Is it just me, or does this look like Sean Astin's like thinner younger brother if he had one?"
Yeah, it's funny because he's the only actor in the movie that actually looks young. All these other college kids, they all look like they're in their 30s.
Yeah, I can see that from this photo. Look at this girl's hair.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah, you gotta burn the slugs.
I do remember this film being a really good laugh. Actually,
it's fun.
It's
fun time.
One of those ones we rented. I can't find the one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of getting Return of the Living Dead vibes here as well, because that's another little zombie.
Well, Return of the Living Dead is a perfect movie. It's one of those movies that is like, on the surface you would think it's not going to be that great, but really it has no fat to it. It's just amazing. Return of the Living Dead is amazing. There's another movie from 1993 called Sliver with Sharon Stone.
No. It's not that. I remember. I mean, I just looked. There's a 1988 horror film called Slugs, but it's not that one because I distinctly remember that we went to the video shop and, the horror section was always with those kind of, do you remember Inside Man? There were always like a selection of films that were sort of, they weren't porno films, but that they were leaning in that direction. And the covers were always very deliberately erotic. And in the first video shops that opened, there was always a small section, normally behind the desk, where, there was like the horror and then the adult section, and it wasn't a porn section, it was like adult sort of entertainment section, it was called. And that's where you'd have your films like Porky's, which back then were considered very risque. Now it's just like, what? But Slither was one of those because it had a semi-naked lady on the cover in a shower, and these things were either dripping from the shower or coming out the tap, I can't remember, and it was a very similar cover to the 2006 one, and I'm sure it was called Slither, but maybe it had a different title. It wasn't Brain Damage.
Well, Slither is not really a remake of Night of the Creeps, but it is a copycat. It's one of those movies that it is very gross. It's a very disturbing horror movie. It's got vibes of if you've seen Society. Yeah, there's Society vibes going on in Slither.
Oh my god, Society with Buttface.
Yeah, we should all watch Society and talk about that next week. But
I like it. It's good.
But Slither was just so funny, and it was one of those times where like James Gunn, he was like a rising star. He did Dawn of the Dead, and Super had not happened yet. But yeah, this movie was just like off the chain, and also Michael Rooker, he's great, and Nathan Fillion, he's so funny when they find the big fat girl in the barn. I'm so hungry, please. I've never thought I could be so hungry. And he's just like, so what's going on in here? What's going on here?
I assume this is the fat girl in the barn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They do a great job of like showcasing how the I guess the lifespan of these aliens. First, it's like a slug that crash lands on Earth. It shoots a harpoon in Michael Rooker's chest. Then he turns into like an octopus creature who impregnates women, and then they turn into these big fat feeders, and the big feeders give birth to the slugs. The slugs get in your mouth and take over your brain, and then you are now like a hive mind with Michael Rooker. It's very, very spooky. It's great alien, extraterrestrial body horror. A lot of gore, a lot of goo, a lot of slime, a lot of fluids, a lot of jokes, a lot of funny jokes that land. And they're not even that fun. They're not even really jokes. It's just like, they see a disgusting creature doing something, and Nathan Fillion just says, Jesus fucking Christ, in such a way. It's so funny. It's like, yeah, that is what you would say, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fun. There she is. She's like, they're all disgusted by what happened to her, and she's like, I don't know, I can't stop eating. He's like, hey, you think you could hand me a piece of that possum over there? There's a dead possum. Oh, there's the society. Yeah. What do they call it in society when they all meld together? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but it's
so awesome.
Pretty weird. Oh my God.
Yeah, you go down to your basement that your husband's locked up, and you kick the lock off, and you find that it's just full of all the dead neighborhood pets and animals and deer and stuff. You're like, oh no. Yeah, great movie. I'd recommend it if you're a big, The Shunt. Thank you, Drew Gordon. That's what it's called. The Shunt. Yes, thank you. I recommend this if you got a disgusting sense of humor like I do.
I feel like I need to watch this film now.
Yeah, have you not seen it? It's awesome.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Stop going through these stills then, because they're spoiling shit. Yeah. This is one of those movies that's good to go in.
I think this was also trying to capitalize a little bit on Shaun of the Dead as well, because that was another good, very funny, witty, gruesome horror comedy with some very good characters and a great sort of offbeat kind of sense of humor as well as a style to it.
Yeah, I would say the thing about it is it does do it does kind of, you could tell James Gunn just hates rural Americans. Everyone's a dumb redneck in the movie. Everyone's stupid and ugly and has bad teeth. It's like, okay, come on. We get it, you freaking California city boy. I get it. You don't like farmers. Well, who the hell's making all your food, huh? Who's growing all the food you eat? Show some damn respect to those rural American heroes. I'm just kidding.
It's been a long time since I've seen Slither, though, but I think I do prefer Shaun of the Dead.
If you liked Deadpool and Wolverine, I mean, it's going to be up there in that style of humor. It's just gross. It's a gross ass movie.
Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm sold. So
I would say Shaun of the Dead's easily way funnier. Shaun of the Dead is way more of a comedy. Slither is like
it's much more layered as well, because there's other little tidbits like
there's way more
you won't notice until you watch them another few times. Like the names of the characters actually rhyme with their own demise as well, or their own their own end.
You're right.
There's
a lot of stuff. Yeah, Slither is just more about the visual gags and the scares and the body horror, and then there's jokes all throughout it. But yeah, Slither was fun, and my guitar player liked them both, so good stuff.
Fab. Has anyone got anything else?
Well, I watched a Macaroni Combat movie this week, Commandos, and with Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah,
love Lee Van Cleef.
And he plays a hard-ass sergeant who hates everybody and everything and doesn't care who knows.
And he always has that deep voice.
It's
1968 with Jack Kelly.
It's not bad actually. There's a weird bit on the soundtrack where every time it changes shots, there's this weird sort of tone that goes through these shots. Don't know whether it's a sound effect or whether it's supposed to be scored or something, but it's this weird kind of high-pitched tone, and every time it cuts to another shot, it kind of drops like a semitone and then cuts to another shot and then goes up again. That was a little bit odd, but yeah, so it's about this group.
It didn't win an Oscar for best sound effects editing.
It didn't. No, but yeah, so it's about a group of Italian American commandos that play, or they're trying to infiltrate this Italian battalion. So they sort of head a raiding party, kill all them, take their place, and are infiltrating the German Afrika Korps, this particular tank unit. It's not bad, but Lee Van Cleef is fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. I've got a stack of Lee Van Cleef stuff that I'm going to be watching. So like Sabata for next week, and
I've got Sabata on DVD.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a couple of I think there's a couple of
Yes,
Sabata.
yeah, it's a trilogy, I think. I think it's three of
Yeah.
them. It was a bit of a weird thing, Sabata, because I think it was a joint Spanish-German venture. It wasn't Italian at all. Yeah, so that was a bit of a weird one. But yeah, I mean
does this reuse that footage that's been used in several of these films? Have they got that scene with that bunker on the cliff? That's used in quite a few movies.
No, it hasn't.
Okay,
But,
just curious.
But yeah, there are quite a few that do do
Yeah, they recycle the
recycle.
same bits of footage
they do.
again and again and again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got a few to watch. Churchill's Commandos, which was a really tough one to track down. I managed to find it, and then when I got it, all of a sudden I fucking saw that it was on YouTube. So what a fucking waste of time that was.
You're
a lot of them are.
Yeah.
A lot of them are spaghetti westerns with him. They're all on YouTube now.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really good film channels. Really, really good film channels on YouTube.
I remember this VHS cover in the UK. I remember picking this one up.
Yeah.
Guild Home Video Limited. Yeah.
Guild.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But
it's amazing how many different covers it's had. It's like,
but I love the poster art.
5 or 6. Yeah, I mean, this one's quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, the poster art for a lot of these movies, actually, the spaghetti westerns and the giallo and the macaroni combat stuff. The posters are amazing, really amazing pieces of artwork. But actually, Northern actually mentioned a film last week, and I hadn't seen it for years, which was The Mercenary.
Which one?
The Mercenary.
Yeah.
And,
I watched that. I watched that pretty recently. That's got that famous scene where they meet the bandits in the canyon, and it's like that kind of tense moment. Are they going to shoot each other? And we'll just be going on our way, and the bandit goes, "Go with God," and then they all pull out their guns and kill them.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's that movie.
Yeah, I know. So I got that one ready to watch as well. And I've got another giallo. What Have You Done to Solange is the next one that's on my list, and I'm going to be looking at Coonskin as well. So Ralph Bakshi animation, which is a pretty cruel and satirical kind of send up of all things Song of the South and Disney. So yeah, it's right up my street.
I've got another one to recommend that was made during apartheid. It was quite unpopular, but it's in this similar kind of vein. I think we talked about it once before, but not in any detail, because it's mainly known under the title Dark Side of the Sun, but also The Mercenaries with Rod Taylor, Yvette Mimo, and Jim Brown.
Right. Okay.
Got that very famous action sequence on the train, which is rather well done.
Yeah.
This came out around the same time as The Wild Geese. It's all set in the Congo.
Yeah.
Very cool poster art there. But yeah, I think the whole film is possibly on YouTube again. But it's actually, it's not. It's a film but it's got Kenneth Moore in it as well, a couple of other characters, but it's a film that kind of believes in itself at the time it was being made. So a bit like the original, the one that Tarantino remade, the World War II thing. Inglourious Basterds. Tonally, it's like the original Inglourious Basterds, not like Tarantino's. So it's got that Italian. Same year as the film you just mentioned, actually, 1968. This is the German actor who played the German guard in Hannibal Brooks, which, don't forget, we said we got to do a special on that. Yeah, this is that same actor. He basically always played kind of German mercenaries or German soldiers, but it did have these really big sort of action set pieces. They did so much stuff with this train and like planes, bombing it and it going over bridges and explosions and all of this kind of stuff. So they had a bit of money. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. It's worth a discussion.
Yeah, I'll give that.
There's a lot of interesting things happening in it. There you go. Dark of the Sun. That's the main title it's known by, actually. Yeah, Dark of the Sun. Or Karagun, whatever country that's from. But the Mercenaries is the other one. Yeah, so that'd be another oldie from me. Anyone got anything else they want to give a shout out to?
I might have one. Old School with Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Will Ferrell. Very, very funny, sort of just nice little switch your brain off kind of comedy to have a laugh with. And
say the title again, please?
Old School.
Oh, Old School.
Yeah. Really check it out. It's really fucking funny. It's just about a guy who finds his wife has been cheating on him and with a bunch of people, and him and his friends decide to start a fraternity house, despite the fact they're in their bloody 30s, and the results are fucking hilarious. It's basically got a little bit of Animal House in there. Yeah, and there's Will Ferrell as Hank the Tank, and
Frank that Tank.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that 1980s comedy that Tom Hanks did called Bachelor Party?
Yeah, it probably does follow
kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's a great film, man. I think it's like the actors are kind of doing a lot of improvising and stuff, but they have really good chemistry. The group of friends.
Dude, the dart scene is like one of the funniest scenes ever.
Yeah. He falls in the pool, knocks out. They get him out trying to resuscitate him. He ends up accidentally tongue kissing him. It's like,
he gets the dart in his neck, and his first reaction is like, "Yes!" Like he's like, first time he saw that.
But where he accidentally tongue kisses Stifler here. Stifler just goes mad and kicks him back in the pool. This cracks me up every time.
This wouldn't be a film without Sean William Scott in it, would it?
God, he is funny. He's just this horrible guy who mishandles these poor animals at the park.
Yeah, the petting zoo. He's like grabbing the goat and like pulling it all hard. Like, yeah, you like that, don't you, punk? You know.
I recognise. Wasn't this actress the daughter in 24? She was.
Yeah, Liza Buckley.
Yeah, that's where I recognise that from.
Yeah, there's a few good actors as well. Locke from Lost, isn't it? Jeremy Piven, who's like this total arsehole dean looking for a way to shut down the fraternity, no matter how legal or illegal it is.
It's also great seeing Jeremy Piven playing like the stickler type character, because he was famous for PCU, where he's like, you know, Mr. Basically doing the frat boy free spirit guy. Yeah, you're my boy, Blue. Dust in the wind. Old man's
funeral. Blue has the greatest bloody death ever. He just dies looking at a pair of tits. How can you not love that?
We're getting drunk.
This guy, this guy on the right,
Fargo.
He's the dad in Fargo. He's also the I think he's also the same actor who plays the head of the Centauri. He's the Centauri Emperor who dies of a heart attack and accidentally starts the war as a result in Babylon 5. Pretty sure it's the same actor. I might be wrong with that. I'm going to check. That looks like the same place where they filmed the final scene of Scent of a Woman.
I won't be surprised. It's
really looks like the same room. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very good little dumb comedy, and it's that plays no expectation, especially for the large lad who was sat in the classroom where he has to do this big somersault, otherwise they lose points and lose a fraternity, and no way is he going to do it. And then just out of nowhere, I won't give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it, even though it's 20 years old now, but yeah, definitely worth a watch. It's very funny. Switch your brain off, have a few beers with the lads. You get a lot of good laughs, good little rude adult laughs that doesn't care about offending people whatsoever.
I like this actor, Patrick Fischler. He definitely should have played like a Roman emperor in the TV series Rome, or Or should have been in Gladiator 2, playing some kind of Roman counselor or something in the Senate.
Him on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played a few psychotics, and he
has. He's played a lot of villains and that kind of thing. But I've always liked him as an actor. I've always thought he was very good.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is very funny as well. He's like the guy who's encouraging them to behave a bit badly because he's got a wife and kids, and he's even trying to get Frank to bloody run
is
out
he
on
smoking a fag while he's doing?
Yeah, he is,
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, everyone needs a Vince Vaughn in their life, especially one from old school.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just like everyone needs an Anchorman. What would you give it out of 10? What would you give it out of 10? Those people that have seen it.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, it's directed by Todd Phillips, the guy who did the Joker movie and a few other good ones.
Okay, so that's a pretty firm recommendation for old school. I'm definitely going to watch that. I'm going to watch.
Definitely one of Will Ferrell's stronger comedic movies.
Yeah, he's so funny.
He works better as a supporting character. He's like third in the. He's not the main. He's like the, third in line in the top billing. He's great in that kind of spot.
Once it hit your lips.
Yeah. Once it's He's like, oh no, like
we're going streaking.
He's like, oh, I haven't drank. I'm 10 years sober or something. And they're just like, okay. He's like, oh, what the hell? And then he takes a shot. He's like, oh my God, it's so good. Once it hits your lips.
And his wife picks him up when he's streaking naked. And he's got to get in the car with a friend's in the bloody back as well.
He's naked too.
Well, it's so funny because he's like, we're going streaking in the quad. And they all just watch him get naked and leave. Nobody follows him, He's just going streaking by himself.
The funny bit though, after he gets in the car and they're
I might watch old school. I might watch old school tonight, actually.
Yeah.
It's again to say I do agree. Like Will Ferrell, as a leading man, no, but when he's supporting, he's fantastic.
Oh,
maybe we should do a watch party of it right after this. It's so hot.
When he gets into the car and he's like,
I'm ready.
Time to get some fried chicken. It's like naked with her fucking friends in the back.
Vince Vaughn's holding up with one arm. He's smoking a cigarette. He's doing like this.
Vince Vaughn is so good in this as well. I love Vince Vaughn. Oh man.
Yeah, it is. It is horribly warm in the UK today. If I leave my windows open, there's a good chance I'm going to find that there's a burglar climbing through it at like 4 a.m. So it's that those are the choices. If I leave the back door open, then I get foxes coming in and spiders.
I leave my windows open. Nobody comes in my house. God.
Yeah. Well, but you live on like the 20th floor of a project tower.
I'm in the basement.
Yeah. So you don't have windows.
I do actually. A window. Yeah. I keep it open. Nobody's coming in for some reason.
If you pan around, it's just a little like a metal door with a peephole.
Don't show people your room. It's so embarrassing. Don't show.
I have a PS5. Okay.
Yeah, PS5. You're a 40-year-old man.
43.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with that? There's loads of people that've got PS.
Hugh Jackman.
I haven't got a PS5. I haven't got a PS4 either. But
playing PlayStation.
My guitar player gifted me a PS4, and I use it for that reason. But I don't think I'm ever going to buy a console again. I think I'm just going to be a computer PC gamer from now on.
I'll be buying a PS6.
Seems to be the way to go. Yeah, I had a PS3 and I played it until GTA Online stopped being a thing, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll stop playing video games now. And then my guitar player was like, "You want my PS4? I don't use it." I was like, "I guess."
Okay, well, I think we're gonna start to wrap up.
Well, Lance, to you and Inside Man, you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but on the way back from Deadpool, I binged the entire season with my kid, that Exploding Kittens. I love Tom Ellis. My son was laughing so hard. It's an adorable little Netflix show. I loved it. So I do appreciate your recommendation, Lance.
Oh, no problem, man.
Yeah. Tom Ellis is the fact that he played Lucifer for 6 seasons. The voice is Godcat. It's poetic. It's great.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, Exploding Kittens is a lot of fun. I'm on the last episode now.
It's stupid fun. It's good enough for kids. My son, we watched it. We enjoyed it. So yeah, it's a good. You can sit down.
You like the bit where he swallowed all the chili, and the cat's just like running around, throwing up absolutely everywhere, all over the house.
The whole unicorn scene was hilarious. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
It's a cute one season anime. I mean, or animation. I liked it.
Inside Man, did you have anything else you wanted to recommend before we close up?
Well, yeah, I did watch Blackula again, and I thought, yeah, so yeah, it's kind of one of my go-tos, and I do like it. I do like it.
I remember renting Blackula and Black Werewolf from Blockbuster Video when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah,
and just not getting it. I was like, what is this? Now they're amazing movies.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I mean the sequel wasn't really that good, to be honest. Scream Blackula.
Yeah, what's it called? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, Blackula. Yeah, it's really good.
Blackula's
Really
funny,
good,
man.
Yeah.
Blackula's funny because they take it. It's like it's like take it seriously, right? It's all straight. They're not trying to take the piss for nothing.
Did we cover Cobra Kai? Because it's only 5 episodes, but I liked it. I think Cobra Kai was really good for this 5 episodes.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like Cobra Kai is kind of like, yeah, it's fine, but I find it's very forgettable.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fun. It is what it is, but it's
exactly.
I feel like it's already gone a season too many. So for me, it feels like it should have ended already. It's
used to it.
But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. It's
you know what debuts to you Inside Man if you want to watch this new Batman animated cartoon, which already pissing people off because they had to change the Penguin to a female because why not?
What?
Yes, exactly. But because Bruce Timm, who did Batman the animated series, was animating this, and the animation looks pretty good. But it's actually dropping in 2 days, the first season on HBO, and it's already angering people because why does the Penguin have to be a female for?
You know what the log line for this film should have been? I'm after your blood, sucker. But it's not. It's bloodsucker, deadlier than Dracula. Warm young bodies will feed his hunger, and hot, fresh blood his awful thirst.
Dude, spoilers, like Blackula gets killed at the end. I mean, God.
Well, with the stake in the poster.
Does he?
Yeah.
Or
does he?
Yeah, I feel like that maybe shouldn't have been included. Where does this come in the order of the best Dracula movies ever made?
Yeah, it's right up there. I think it's right up there. I mean, because there've been some shit. I mean, some absolute dross Dracula movies. And never really been that much of a fan of the Hammer stuff, if I'm honest. Although
Dracula has more movies than like Godzilla and James Bond and Freddy and Jason and all those dudes like almost put together, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, I am excited about Nosferatu. I can't wait to see that. It's probably my biggest movie of the year.
Yeah,
I feel like this shot is a bit of a spoiler, potentially to what happens to him in the end.
I think that's like in the beginning when he comes back, right?
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You know what? They could have done Blackula meets Solomon King.
Yeah.
That's the double duo you just never knew you needed in a film.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. You got the antique dealers, haven't you? And they're really kind of overtly camp. And now I've seen a few comments that have said that it's a very, very homophobic film, and it's not. These guys are just kills, basically. They're just victims. It doesn't matter what they are or who they are, But yeah, I have seen a few comments about this, about how homophobic it is, but it's not.
Well, it was made in 1972.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, we have to, we have to realize that these movies did exist. Either whilst we were children or before we were born. And they were there. Attitudes were different. So what? So what if they've changed for the better? Great. If they've not changed for the better, well, so be it. But they are what they are.
Damn, man. Vanessa McKee, who I was thinking, we should track down her and get her on. Toxic would be disappointed if I didn't mention she has passed away in 2010, sadly. the age of a mere 65 years of age.
Yeah.
Almost the same age as you, Inside Man. So
yeah, little bit younger than me.
yeah.
Not.
But because she was in. I remember her. She was in Repo Man. I remember her in Repo Man. And she did Shaft in Africa as well. But the main thing, because I've got a copy of Repo Man, so I remember her in that. I was thinking, maybe there's somebody from this movie we need to get a load of blaxploitation actors if we can get them all together on one screen.
Great.
That'd be amazing.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
Anti-derivative Jill's in the house.
Hurricane Jill. Hell yeah.
We love Jill. She's awesome. She's just been watching For All Mankind, which is a great show. I thoroughly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as woke as you first think it's going to be if you stick with it, because it's sort of what would happen if the whole premise of the show is what would happen if Russia put a woman in space first. It would change the entire American. They've got to have women in the space program like immediately because they have to compete with Russia. And it's sort of it's how that changes a load of things in history, but it's very realistically done. It's very clever. It's a good show. I do like it.
So they put her in space, but she wouldn't be able to park on the moon.
That's it.
She'd
Yeah,
have a bit of trouble parking.
Well, there is a rocket that blows up in the first season, so but no, it's a good. It's a really good show, and it's everything in it is very believable, and the characters are all very well done. The narratives are really well fleshed, and it's on its 4th season now, and we're now in the season where people are going to Mars, and the whole show is written by one of the main guys who did Star Trek Next Generation, and it's the show that he he wanted to be like the thing that this is what happened until warp technology was invented. This is really kind of pre-Star Trek. It's almost like another Star Trek show, but it's not. It's just not called Star Trek. It's the link between Star Trek and our real history. And so it's good. It is good. I thoroughly recommend it. The last season on Mars is really great, and it's got another. There you go. It's another recommendation in the Darth Plato's always right, as we know. So yeah, Blackula. Okay.
Yeah.
That's another one.
But is this quite realistic? Would you say this space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it basically what happens is that women get to have more key positions in the NASA space program than they would have done historically because Russia does it first. So America is, for political reasons, is forced to copy them. But you still, as a result of that, what happens is, for example, they promote one woman into the space program primarily because she's really pretty and she looks good on the posters and so on. But she's not a very good pilot. She's a flight risk, and there are people that protest against her and for her getting the job. These are the 4 female leads, I think. The cast, the acting, the cast is absolutely first class. Really, really good cast. And in like the second season, because of this, the space race is accelerated. So because of this, we end up putting a base on the moon. And the season that covers that, which is mainly season 2, just goes to show how horrible that base would be to live and how primitive the first few years would be.
Can you imagine it?
There.
Just makeup everywhere,
Oh well,
towels left on the floor, makeup strewn all over the place.
No, it's not like that. It's more like the harsh conditions and all that kind of thing. But it's really good. There's a whole load of for example, this is one of the characters who's in season 1. This is her in season 3 or 4. So the characters that survive that long, they all age accordingly. I think this is one of the scenes just before there's a rebellion on Mars. It is really good. Joel Kinnaman, who was the lead in that god awful RoboCop remake, is one of the main male characters in this, and he's fantastic in it. He's so good in it. This guy plays like a sort of Elon Musk type guy who gets behind everything a lot sooner, so that space travel is properly financed a lot faster than it was in reality. Stuff like that. Like, one of the things that the show does really well is, you know, all these people go up to Mars to have new lives and everything, and the people that do the lowly jobs, which are these guys in this photo here, you know, it's really well underscored. Like when one of them goes to fix the air conditioning unit in one of the pilots' quarters, which is above the surface, whereas these guys all live below the surface because those are the quarters that they're allocated. When he goes in, and when the guy says, yeah, if you could fix that for me, he doesn't even look at him, because he's no one to him, because he's just a maintenance person. And so straight away, there's this massive divide on Mars between the rich and the poor. And I'm like, oh shit, this isn't going to go well. And they set that up really well, but it takes a long time to percolate. Oh shit, sorry, Joe, I forgot you're not on Mars yet. Yeah, I'm spoiling some shit for you. My apologies. Terrible. Yeah, you know. But it is a really good show. Some great there's some great combat stuff as well. And I really like these cool M16s that they kind of branded up with it. Got this kind of really nice white camo pattern and shit, and the way they do the combat is really well done on the space station and stuff like that, because Russia and America briefly go to war on the moon, and you know, it's done really well. So special effects on this film, absolutely first class, on par with House of the Dragon visual effects. Really, really good stuff. So I don't know what's going on with her eyes.
It does.
It is a good show. It's a good show. Yeah. You get through the first season. I personally think the first season is great, but you know, it does kind of misguide you slightly, thinking, oh, this is going to be a massive woke box ticking nonsense exercise, and it really turns out not to be that. As Jill says, sometimes it's too realistic and breaks my heart. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. Well, that took us over another 15 minutes down a rabbit hole there for you, Jill. So yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's do what people have got coming up. Well, for anyone who hasn't heard already, I have got several guests booked throughout the next few weeks. Lawrence Monason is the next actor who's coming on, who's done a couple of Star Trek shows. He's done Star Trek Enterprise and I think an episode of Voyager, if I remember rightly. He's also in one of my favorite films of all time, which is Mask. He's in another one of my favorite films of all time, And the Band Played On. So he's coming on, I think it's next week. It's already, the stream is already there. Enzo, I sent you all the relevant stuff for his thumbnail, right? So you got it. Yeah,
I'll make that today.
Okay, please, that'd be great, because I kind of want to advertise his stream as far ahead as possible. Some of you guys, if you remember really far back, sorry, it's Deep Space Nine and Enterprise were the two Star Treks he's done. He was also the lead actor on the Last American Virgin, if you remember that movie. But here he is in an episode of Murder, She Wrote. So it's going to be really good fun. So see, look, just as we're going, all the cool characters are turning up. We've got Barbara Lawrence, Alan Gray, Sex Electronica's here. So yeah, all the cool people. Yeah, blue collar.
Well, show's over, so
yeah, show's over. Enzo wants to go.
I'm looking forward to this new Alien film. It's so many practical effects. Loving it.
Yeah, well, doesn't that drop this Friday?
No, actually,
2 or 3 Fridays.
Is it 2 weeks time? Maybe it's 2 weeks time. Well,
I'm looking forward to this new M. Night Shyamalan film with Josh Hartnett.
Trap, yeah, that might be good.
Yeah, maybe. The other big news, of course, is that I have booked Gail Ann Hurd to come on the channel. She will be on for exactly an hour and no longer, because I've been organising it with her 3 PAs. So Gail Ann Hurd will be on the channel on the 25th of September. That's how far ahead I've had to book. So the main producer of the entire Walking Dead franchise, as well as some other films you may have heard of, like Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Armageddon. Let's forget about that one, and various other things. I can't wait to interview Gail. She's going to be an amazing guest. There's so much stuff, and I'm going to try actually. You can find other interviews where she talks about Terminator, Aliens and stuff. There's not many questions I can ask her about Aliens that haven't been answered already. So I'm going to try and steer away from the production questions on those films and talk more about what the legacy of those films has meant to her.
I forget to ask her what her favorite Mexican food is.
You may well do that. You can do that in the chat if you want. One of the things that I want to do, though, is, and I'm sure she won't have time to watch this, so I'll say it now. If you would like to leave a 10-second soundbite for Gail Ann Hurd about what her films have meant to you in your life, please send me that video via my Facebook page or the Outcast Creative Facebook page, and I am going to edit a compilation of them to play her at the end of the interview, as well as a load from people in the industry. So get in touch with me, and I'm gonna sort that out as a little surprise. So, but it's got to be really short. It's got to be really short. So keep it as short as possible. And I'm only going to be editing it down, even shorter if it's too long. So. There are some other interviews. I'm just waiting for people to confirm dates. But we've got quite a few more coming up. So, Stupenzo, my glorious co-host, what have you got coming up?
Well, me and Dudicus, who you might know from my show, Tales from the Dork Side, and Lord Toxic, we watched Night of the Comet last night. That'll be coming out tomorrow. Unedited, full-length commentary.
I love that movie. I've got the vinyl.
Yeah, I've got the vinyl. We had a great time watching that one. That soundtrack is very awesome.
You're unbelievable. Sorry.
And then I think either Sunday or Monday, either Sunday during the day, or maybe Monday after MMM. We're going to. I'll be on. I think I will be on this upcoming MMM as well with the Iron Giant. So I'm thinking Sunday during the day, we're going to do a special Tales from the Dork Side. We're going to break down, we're going to do another specialized episode. We're going to talk about the X-Men, all the X-Men movies, the X-Men movies, the Wolverine movies, the Deadpool movies, the X-Men shows, some of the video games, as many comic books as we can. It's going to be like a 7-8 hour X-Men special. So yeah,
it's a lot to cover.
Yeah, and Enzo, I do look normal. I'm inside the house, not wearing my sunglasses. I wear the sunglasses in the man cave because I have this giant TV in front of my face, and it like blinds me, So that's why. But also, I was in the man cave Sunday for the Olympic stream that got blocked, and the air conditioner's not working, and it wasn't too hot, but it gets a little sweaty in there. I need to get a new AC unit ASAP, or just wait till wintertime. We'll see, whichever happens first.
It's absolutely baking here in London right now.
It's been very mild here in Texas for some reason. We got like highs in the 80s, which is unheard of around this time of year. Usually we have triple-digit days in a row that are triple-digit temperatures, So it's been awesome.
It's Betty Swallocks of the highest order here. I can, and it's even bigger Betty Swallocks in Northern's territory, as we discussed earlier. So talking of which, Northern, king of the Betty Swallocks, what have you got coming up?
Well, I'm currently still nearly done with my Deadpool and Wolverine review, and hopefully it should be out tomorrow, Thursday. And Friday, with Inside Man, Critic Al, and Fandad Menace, where we will be discussing 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Nice.
I thought you were about to say 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, that's too highbrow.
Yeah, man. It's funny because everybody goes on about what an iconic film and everything it is, but people have to remember I saw Star Wars first and then saw that.
But you could talk about 2001 for hours and hours and hours. There's so much going on that you can interpret.
Yeah, it's incredibly ambiguous, especially that ending. I love
it.
Evolving into a new.
I thought you didn't like the A24 endings. What's up with that?
I don't mind. I like them, but it's just like it doesn't work for. It's not theater bait. You know, it's not going to get people in butts and seats in the movie theater. You know.
Fair enough. Anything else, Blue? You want to plug anything?
I just saw our buddy Gooch here doing Demon Slayer, and I'll be with you, Lance, for Spartacus. And I'm definitely going to talk with Enzo a couple of days, Monday, to do a some kind of review for a film.
By the way, my Spartacus stream got like copyright flagged up the wazoo. You know the little intros.
We showed stills, dude.
Yeah, but you know the little intros, the 5-second intros I cut for each section. Every single one of them got flagged for copyright. Every single one.
See it? That's how it goes.
But the stream's still up, though, right?
I know the trailer fine, but like, come on, man, it's like 5 seconds, but every single one of them got flagged.
Dispute, always dispute.
Yeah.
So Lance, how did the House of Dragon do last time?
I have disputed it. I've disputed it under fair use. I've said this is nonsense. I'm reviewing this show, fair use.
Yeah.
There's their reply now.
What was your House of Dragon okay last night?
I always have to. It's a given every week that I always have to cut off the. I always do the intro for the episode. I always have to edit that off. That always gets flagged, and I always just trim it off. So rather than do a toss with them, but that's right. I'm pretty used to my shit getting copyright flagged now, so I know if I show a trailer, I'm going to get copyright flagged.
When I don't get a copyright claim, I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's like, so I'm going to get one for Hotel Cocaine trailer almost certainly, even though we're plugging the show and talking about it, and it's really fair use.
What's like Enzo said, when we did Enzo's karaoke, I expect karaoke, which is understandable, but other than that, like when he shows stills or 4-second clips, like, come on, guys, calm down.
Well, also, the more people that watch a trailer, the better. That's why you've cut a trailer for your film. You want people to see the trailer, so people go and watch it. It's not like you're making money off the trailer. So,
yeah. No, Lance, no, I'll be hanging out with you and Enzo and Gooch and everybody. Just for August, I'll be slowing down because it's time to get serious, go back to a big boy job because
pay child support.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be slowing down my online presence, but I'm still gonna be around, just not as much. I'll still be for Spartacus, but
it's for the best, honestly. I get tired of you.
Yeah. Plus, it's fun, but the bottom line is all 5 of us, none of us are getting paid, man. And bills are starting to pile up, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, I work from home, so I mean, I'm blessed. So yeah, you guys trying to keep up with me, that's not recommended. I mean,
same. I work from home, and also like Enzo, I'm also extremely blessed. So yeah.
What's like with B-rolls, Lance? You and Inside Man probably know about the whole that Hell's Angels film, which I had a blast, but it was a real life with the Roger Corman, and I guess the Hell's Angels put a hit out on him. We had a fun time, but I crashed at midnight, woke up at 4 a.m. I was like, oh shit, I missed the entire night at work.
I thought you were about to say you crashed at
crashed your car.
You woke up at 4 a.m. and there was a group of Hell's Angels outside your house waiting to beat you up.
I woke up next to a bucket and like,
it's better than waking up behind the steering wheel into a telephone pole or whatever.
He's not wrong.
I want to thank everybody for coming on the channel, and we've had quite a few. I've had new people come on every stream actually this last week.
Woo!
So my subs are going up. We had 4 new people in the chat on House of Dragon on Monday.
Lance, this Sunday's a finale, man. It's been 8 weeks already. Holy crap!
Yeah, I know. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
And
I hope it picks up because the last couple of episodes seemed a little bit like it's losing, like I'm losing interest a bit. So hopefully the final might make up for it.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if History Bro is swayed by the next 2 episodes of Spartacus, because he was a bit put off by the amount of gayness in it, and there's a full man on man snog scene coming up in the next episode. So I was thinking, I'm not going to mention that because I want him to watch it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a very hedonistic time as well. So
which one was a lot of big, oily, hairless men? Come on,
Well, indeed.
Turkish oil wrestling. You guys need to look that up. It's amazing.
Well, on that note, guys, we're all going to say thanks. Just remains for me to thank my awesome panel. Blue Collar Loser, Northern English Bastard, the Inside Man, of course, my wonderful co-host with the new fantastic haircut, Stupenzolicious, and also all of you in the chat. This month was the 2-year anniversary of this channel in its current form, and it's happening. It's stayed here because of your support. I really appreciate it. Here's to it making to, anniversary number 3. So July will always be the anniversary month of the channel, and hopefully I'll do a whole load of special shit next year. So, but until then, we're going to go out on this and let's see if we think it is worth watching.
Ladies and gentlemen,